Well, Happy New Year. I am Christine Glein. I am the Chief Energy Officer at the Game Changing Impact Group and the founder of Soul Intelligence. Most of you know me as the Soul Intelligence Coach. And this is my first live broadcast of the year. I know, 12 days in. Crazy. I had an incredible kickoff to the new year, was super, super crazy busy. I had a wonderful trip to be on site with a client last week and really excited. This week, I was featured on a podcast on Tuesday with a couple of amazing women. And if you missed that, I will be so excited to share with you where you can catch that podcast. I will be putting it back into my group and into my feed just so that you can catch it. It was a fun discussion on how to create wealth. And I was sharing some of the insights about soul intelligence and how that relates to creating wealth. What I wanted to come and talk to you about today is about the new year. And how are you doing on those New Year's resolutions? Do you make those anymore? You probably know about 87% of us make New Year's resolutions every year. And you probably know that most of us blow them by about this time, like within the first couple of weeks. My husband and I actually decided this year that we were going to try dry January. So far, so good. 12 days in. And we're also eating healthier, losing a little weight, feeling good, getting more energy. So I thought I would come to you guys live. I'm actually here in my rose garden. I have an orchid by me. I love being outside with the plants. And I thought that might be a fun way for me to come and talk to you a little bit about what I do instead of making New Year's resolutions. I actually this year decided to read a really good short book by John Gordon called One Word. And, obviously, um, when we make New Year's resolutions, they're always built on this foundation of more effort, more willpower, and goal setting, and we wind up making to-dos instead of to be goals, right? We have to remember we're human beings, not human doings, and success is really measured by what you know we accomplish instead of like who we become, right? So making resolutions convinces us that all we have to do is just roll up our sleeves and get to work and hit it. Um, and it really encourages us to put the power of changing our life in our heads and our hands with a game plan to change these habits. And that approach really ignores the most important part of life change. As you guys know, you got IQ, you got EQ, you got SQ, which is your soul intelligence, and you have PQ, your physical body, your physical intelligence. But when you do that, we'll just push through with just your head and your hands, that forgets about our heart, right? And as I've talked to you before, our heart and our heart actually has a larger energetic field than our brain does. As a matter of fact, it's a 6 foot wide circumference around our heart. That's how much energy our heart gives out. And so, if we only try and push and put these things down and force it, that's typically why it falls apart. So instead of being weighed down by those unrealistic resolutions or unmet goals or another to do list that we didn't get done, one word provides a whole new perspective on how you go about it. It frees us up. It actually gives us permission and purpose to look at the dimensions of our life. I talk a lot about how all of these intelligences make up your life. So, whether it's your physical intelligence, your physical, your mental, your relational, your emotional, or your financial, there are a lot of dimensions to our life, but most of them boil down to those six. So, I want you to really think about what could your theme for the year be? So while you think about that, I want you to, if you're listening and you're coming up with it, I would love for you to give me a little hashtag one word in the comments. That would be great. I want to talk to you a little bit about what this year means and what is the universal theme for the year. You guys know I love symbols. I love numerology. I love astrology, like all things that give me more information. And so if we think about 2020, if you add up the numbers 2020, that's a 4 year. And a four is about a new foundation, kind of like a chair, very sturdy, right? And we all got a universal reset. Like, where is our new normal? Where is that new foundation? And we were forced to go within and really look at our lives and decide what's most important. Then we had 2021, which 2 + 2 + 1 is 5, right? A 5 year. That a 5 is all about change and upheaval. So we all thought we were out of the woods with COVID, and oh my goodness, 2021 was even more intense, I think, than 2020. Just when we think we're done, we're not done. Okay, so let's add up 2022. Are you following? Yep, 6. So a 6 year. What is a 6 year? Well, that is really the ability to tap into these ideals, these higher ideals and higher vibrations like love, strengthen our relationship, and maybe even heal some deep wounds. It's all about partnership and relationship. There are a lot of twos in 2022, which is also about connection and partnership and relationship and patience. All right, so maybe I'm getting you thinking now in terms of what your one word might be. Um, the author, John Gordon, he actually wrote another book that I've used through the years of leadership coaching called The Energy Bus, and about letting passengers off your bus that aren't really heading down the road where you're heading. So I really like, he's got a very lighthearted, easy way of writing, and they're always quick reads. So if you're interested, you can check out #1word by John Gordon. It's a quick 100-page book, but I'm giving you the whole 411 right now, telling you all about it. The author, John Gordon, chose the word intimacy one year because he was looking for, intimacy, more intimacy in his life. And, that meant if he, if he could potentially like have more intimacy with his wife or his family or his friends or the divine, all areas of his life, all the relationships. He wanted to also look at intimacy, um, how he was showing up as a father or a husband or a friend or a leader or an athlete. He was really transformed and he went into this deeper level in all his relationships, the year of intimacy. So, knowing when you can keep your purpose, so your word, bigger than your challenges, you can be energized all year long. And this one word process has actually bloomed into a whole movement. And when you find your word for the year, it actually changes the way you think. It changes the words you choose to speak, the attitude you have in your heart, your relationships, and even your actions. Then the fun starts. You actually start seeing your word everywhere. Kind of like that yellow car theory. You buy a yellow car, you start seeing yellow cars everywhere. But one word can give you clarity and focus for the challenges of our busy, stress-filled lives. It actually becomes like a force that can cut through the status quo. So it's both simple and powerful. And I love simple, right? Simplicity done well is always going to put an impact somewhere. So I want to know if you've already come up with a word. I'd love for you to share your word in the comments for me. The important thing is once you choose a word is to share it with your inner circle, with your family, your close friends, your group. When you do that, that's going to help encourage you, motivate you, and celebrate your successes and your wins. They have done this with companies, and every time each individual employee created their own word, the result they had was more focus and power and energy and engagement, and the companies inevitably had their best years ever. The power of one word is really in that there's a narrow focus that winds up having this broader impact. Less really turns out to be more. Trust me, simple is powerful, and it can really make a difference. So I'm going to teach you a really quick process that's going to help you figure out how to find your word. The first thing we have to do is do what I tell you all the time. In order to be in touch with your soul intelligence and live and love lead from that place, you have to get quiet. That's why I'm sitting outside in my rose garden. You have to get quiet and go within and shut down all the distractions in your life and ask, right? A word with power is one that can come out of silence. You can discover your word by looking up. If you believe in a higher power, you believe in the divine of all that is, you can ask. And then you get to live your word and look out and find it. So, you one thing that you absolutely have to have is you have to have a desire to live your life to the fullest to become the best you. If that's you, then the one word process is for you. One word is actually contagious, and the results are always the same. It's unstoppable life change. And it's hard to break away from the business of life. I get it. You know, being busy has really become a silent killer of our days. The word busyness in Chinese actually is represented by this pictograph of two characters, the heart and killing. Busyness is really a disease that robs us of life. And it brings on stress and exhaustion and weighs us down. So, I can also tell you that the one word process has been used by sports teams who inevitably had the best seasons they've ever had. The teammates would put their one word in their locker and see it every day. All right. I know you're totally all in. If you're all in on one word, give me a hashtag all in. What do you need? Okay. Here's how you do it. So you get quiet, you go within, and just ask yourself, what do I need in 2022? Not necessarily what you want, but what do you truly need? Be really honest. What areas of your life need the most change and why? That question can really help you uncover new and obvious, sometimes hidden issues, actually, that need your attention. And it can jumpstart the list of possible words for the year. It's another good one. Close your eyes. What's in my way? Huh. Look for those obstacles or things that are preventing personal growth. Can also be really powerful. What's preventing me from having what I need? The answer to that question can be really revealing. Sometimes the barriers are simply right up in your mind. Next one, get quiet and ask, what needs to go? Sometimes we're held hostage by past mistakes or pain. Bitterness or a lack of forgiveness can hold us back. Other times that the words that we should have or could prevent us from moving forward. So if you really think about what you need to let go of, that can sometimes help you identify the things that will get you to make progress. So those are really powerful questions because they'll help you find a word that has true meaning in your life. Too many times we're so focused on getting the first, the most powerful word that we'll miss the real power behind it. The why behind the word. When you know the why behind your word, you'll have greater power to live it and share it. Just like I always say, you always want to give your people the why behind the what. Tell me why we're doing it. Oh, then I'm bought in. Then I can be aligned with that mission, vision, value, and purpose because I have that why. So those questions can help you identify what could be a potential word. So are there any past circumstances that you need to learn from? What is your current reality and where do you want to go from here? Obviously, I truly believe that everything happens to us for a reason, right? That life is supporting us, not out to get us, okay? And it's here for us to experience and to learn and to identify those opportunities for growth. And the past really can paint the picture of our life story. But once you understand why you're drawn to a certain word, then you're ready to really have that become the theme for the year. All right, so once you've prepared your heart, then you're ready to receive your word. Yeah, it's more like receiving it. It's like asking the divine to tell you, what do I truly need this year? You don't have to chase after it or feel stressed. trying to choose it. So after you've prepared your heart, you're really ready, look up to the divine and ask. And let it be fueled by your faith, by your inspiration, by your soul intelligence, not by fear. My new favorite expression I learned this past week, it's no longer FOMO, it's JOMO, the joy of missing out, not the fear. I totally am on JOMO. So if you love that expression, you can give me a hashtag JOMO. So you don't have to force it or add it as another check mark on your to-do list. Let's really ask, what is the right word for you? Now, of course, I know you're all dying to know what is my word, because I always live what I tell you to do. I am certainly someone that embodies their work. My word is sovereign. Ooh, what does that mean? It's a word where my whole goal this year is to be my own sovereign being. And what that means to me is, in the work that I do, in the coaching work that I do, it's very easy for me to feel what other people are going through, or to take on other people's problems as if they were my own. And so what I'm going to do is to continue to hold space for those people and make sure that I don't make it my own, and stay my own sovereign being, and stay in alignment. So that means I may make different choices. I may have different people in my life. I may have different situations. I'll give you a really good one. It's interesting. When you start seeing your word, or feeling your word, or looking at things differently because of your word, it's going to be really fun. You're going to start seeing all this synchronicity. But when you start, you'll actually start realizing how that word is showing up in your life. For me today, I got to play a tennis match and sub on a tennis league this morning, and we were down love 5 in the first set. Oh, yeah. Now, typically, I would be worked up, I would be stressed out, I would be starting to get down on myself, and I was like, today, I was totally sovereign. I was just like, nope, we're going to figure this out. I happened to be serving when we were down love 5, and that's when we got our first game. And we wound up winning the match 7-5, 6-4. So it was really good. I was able to stay sovereign in my own being and not allow any of those circumstances to dictate that there was a different outcome. So it's really amazing, even in something as simple as that. So when your word comes to you, it might come in the form of a character trait, okay? It could be a discipline. It could be an inspiration from a person, or a spiritual focus. It could be an attribute. It could be a value. So things come in words like love. Maybe you want to experience more love in your life in 2022. Maybe that's what's been missing. Or joy, or patience, or kindness. Maybe it's rest or health. Could be intimacy, could be discipline. Maybe you want to make an effort to smile more and see other people smile more, or to overcome, or be positive, or inspire, or have integrity, or stay strong. The most important thing is that it has meaning to you. And then once you have your word, you want to keep it front and center, okay, so that it stays with you throughout the year. The stress and challenges of life will cause you to forget your word if you let them, right? So we know this through our own experiences. If your word is not at the top of your mind, it will be forgotten. All right, so how do you keep it front and center? Post it in prominent places that you see regularly. Put a sticky note in your car. Put a screensaver on your phone or on your computer. What gets your attention gets your focus, and what you focus on gets done and always expands. So make sure you've got it somewhere. You can also take a picture of your word, maybe. You can keep a journal and write down the insights and lessons learned each week, like where you saw the word, where you heard the word. It could come to you in a song. You can see it reflected in your life. But again, that takes time to get quiet and write it down. Maybe you want to do it and start a one-word dinner discussion once a week, where you talk about the progress with your family or your friends. Create a focal point or a challenge once a week. Choose one of the ways, the six dimensions of your life where it's showing up. Look for sayings or quotes that relate to your word. I shared with my friend, one of my dearest friends, and she that my word was sovereign, and we both did a meditation, and throughout the guided meditation the word sovereign came up multiple times. I was like, what? So cool. Pick a song that reminds you of your word. If you're creative, you can write a poem or a prayer that includes your word. Maybe you develop a daily mantra that includes your word. I am in um, flow with love and grace and sovereignty. Ooh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna have to write that down. You can create the document and share your word with your stretch team, like your inner circle of friends. Companies actually have put all the words like a giant word cloud when you walk into the business and you see all the words. That's powerful. Give people permission to ask you about your word. Anyway, I'm really interested in finding out what your words are going to be. So please share your words with me. All right, Jackie, joy is a word. I love it. And I can't wait to spend some time experiencing joy with you this year. That is definitely on my list of things to do. Um, I do want to share with you that there is an opportunity for you to spend more time with me. I am holding a free masterclass on Tuesday, January 18th. That's next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am going to be sharing the power of soul intelligence. I'm going to be doing a group session where I will share the power of the soul intelligence method with you, and we will shift what's no longer serving you so we can move that out so it doesn't stick around in 2022. And we're going to do a group meditation together. So it'll be a lot of fun. If you are interested in getting a link to sign up for the masterclass, it's totally free. You can give me a hashtag masterclass or send me a message. And I just want to encourage everybody to have a tremendous new year. Really give yourself the opportunity to pick a word and a theme. And I promise you, I'll be checking back in on you at least once a quarter because I can't leave my corporate life behind to see what that word is. Anyway, I will look forward to talking to you guys really soon. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and let me know all about your words. I'm looking forward to reading. Take care, everybody. Have a great, great afternoon.